Hi there, thanks for tuning in to Megan Makes Cupcakes. Today we'll be making the amazing Spider-Man cupcakes. And as you can tell, they're pretty amazing. So stay tuned and I'll walk you through it step by step. Okay, to make these amazing Spider-Man cupcakes today, you'll need some black royal icing, and here I'm using the Wilton tip number 2. You can use tip number 3, but that's probably the largest that I would go. And then I have this printout here that I'll link at the bottom. That's an outline for making our royal icing transfers that we're going to be doing today. And then I just have this picture of Spider-Man here that we're going to be using as well, kind of as an outline, and to look at, where we're drawing those lines so we can have it in mind. So the first thing that you're going to want to do before you do your cupcakes or anything else is that we're going to want to do these royal icing transfers because they take a while to dry, at least 5 to 6 hours, and I would say overnight to be safe is best. So we're going to get going on those first. So I have a little laminate sheet here that I put over my paper, and it's kind of nice because you can just, use it over and over again and just replace it out with a different sheet each time. So first we're going to start out with these, and what we want to do is we want to work from the outside in towards the body. So we're going to just try one here. And the reason you want to do that is because you want to make sure that all the little legs are connected, because if they're not, then when you go to pick it up, then they'll just fall apart. So we're just dragging from the outside towards the middle. And it's okay if it doesn't look exactly like the picture here. It's just the overall image. And for the legs, I'm just dragging and stopping there. Okay. And then for the middle of the body, you want to make sure that you don't make it too big. Otherwise, it will all just pull together. And also, it'll take a lot longer to dry as well. And I'll link a recipe for the royal icing recipe down below. Okay, so there's an example of one of the spiders that we'll be doing for our royal icing overlay. And then we'll just continue to fill the sheet. Okay, and I would definitely suggest doing some extras for these, especially since the spider legs are so thin. You're gonna have to be really gentle with them, and they'll break easily. So just in case they do, you'll have some backups. And also I was gonna say that you could do this with white chocolate, and you could just dye it black if you want to. I just like doing the royal icing because it comes out kind of smoother. And there's more that you can do with it, but black white chocolate would also work just fine. So we're going to do a couple more of these for prevention, like I was saying. And the more you do it, the better you'll get at this. It's definitely something that you learn with time. So we're going to set those aside to dry, and then now we're going to work on, if I were you, I would do that first, and then you can make your cupcakes. And then I've just frosted them with some red frosting. And I've done a flat top style for the frosting there. And then I've just done some blue cupcake liners there. And you could just do like a blue cupcake wrapper or whatever works for you. Okay, so we have our Spider-Man here that we're going to use as an outline. And I just took a cookie cutter about the size of the cupcake to outline it there to see what kind of image we want for the space of our cupcake. So I'm going to try to recreate that. I'm going to do 4 lines down and about 5 lines across. So make sure our tip is nice and smooth here. Alright, here we go. So it's best to just go as fast as you can and drag down. I'm using my right hand to squeeze and my left hand or my left finger as a guide. All right. And then now we're just gonna do kind of like scallops. And don't forget, you can look at your sheet as you go, that's gonna save you. Okay. Up and down. And then we're gonna just do a little arch. Up and down on the other side. Okay, so now we've finished our cupcake here. And what we're gonna do is we're just gonna wait for those royal icing transfers here to dry. And then once they've dried, then we can glue them down on top of our cupcake with a little bit of royal icing. So stay tuned and I'll be back with our dry royal icing and you guys can see the finished look. Okay, and we're back and our royal icing transfers have dried overnight. Look at those bad boys. They turned out quite nicely, if I do say so myself. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a thin tool such as this to get the royal icing transfers up because they're very delicate and so you don't want to use something fat to just get them up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go at it from the side and I'm just going to push down and then up. And then there you go. You have your little royal icing transfer in one piece. Okay, so then what we're going to do is we have our cupcake that we made before. And what we're going to do is we're just going to use some of our leftover royal icing that we had before. And then we're just going to position our royal icing on the back and the main body. And that should be enough to hold it down and keep it in position. Otherwise, we're going to risk having the royal icing seeping out from smaller appendages of the spider. We're just going to stick that on there. And voila! You have a finished Spider-Man cupcake. For any of you who are celebrating the Spider-Man movie coming out in less than a week, these are the cupcakes for you. Thanks for tuning in.